Hello and welcome to this video. My name is David Thorne. In this video we're going to be creating this stylish navigation bar with this background. It's basically the starting of your website, and you can see when we hover over we get this nice little effect where you get an underline that just like animates with it, and then the font color changes nicely. This is super simple. In this video you'll see exactly how I did this from start to finish. So with that said, let's get started. First thing we want to do is have a container that the navigation bar can sit in. The background image of the background image of the body we're going to just use for CSS, so we don't have to care about that. But the navigation bar is going to sit in this container fluid that we're just going to use to make it, to be able to manipulate it depending upon what size it's going to be. It's not going to do much more than that really. Then we're going to have a class of nav bar, and then another one we're going to have with the brand, and this brand is going to sit to the far left hand side, and it's just going to say David's videos. And you could also put this into an anchor tag as well. Would make more sense to be able to link to your page. And just because it seems like a bit of fun, I'm going to put this videos in a span as well. Okay, so now we're going to have a UL, and inside of here we are going to have then the normal anchor tag, and we're just going to say home. And then we're just going to copy it a couple of times. Services, about, and contacts. So contacts here. Obviously you would want to change the href as well. All right, and we're just going to say services here. And that's about it really, because this is going to sit to the right hand side, this is going to sit to the left hand side, and so on. So let's just have a quick look, and we've got a super boring thing here. So we can start styling stuff now. And let's just get rid of the padding and the margin that's added to stuff by default, right? And I'm just going to say that text decoration is none for all anchor tags anyway. And I'm also going to say that color should the color of the anchor tag should inherit. Just a bit of house cleaning. Okay, so first thing we want is then container fluid, and this is going to say width is equal to 100%. Not a problem. And the next thing we're going to do is navbar. Now the navbar we're going to make it display flex. Why do we want this? Because we want everything to be like horizontally aligned, all right? And as you can see, it's already doing that right now. And our aim is that the brand, the David's video, is going to sit to the left hand side. Then the navigation is going to pump all the way over to the right hand side, all right? So we don't need to do flex direction row, but I'm just going to do it for instructional purposes and demonstration purposes. Now, justify content, we want to say space evenly, all right? So, and I just always do this wrong, space between, and that pushes then the navigation bar all the way to the right hand side, and then the brand all the way to the left hand side, which is super cool, which is what we want. And we're going to say then align items is going to be center, and so it does exactly that. Next thing we want to do is then say that the navigation UL is going to be list style type is none, just to get rid of those discs and so on. And we're going to say display flex 2, so it just puts everything in line. So now that we've done that, let's just say up here that we want to use font family Roboto here, and we're pretty much done with the UL, and we don't really need to touch the LI, but the anchor tag we are going to touch, and we're going to say display blocks because we want to be able to adjust the padding above and below. And above we're going to say 0.4 ems, and then above for the at the top and bottom we're going to say 0.4. And then for left to right, we'll say 0.6, and we'll have a look at that. It's looking all right, but I think we obviously need, for our navigation, we need to push it down a little bit, all right? So let's just make it a little bit tidier and put it under here. And we'll say like padding on the top is then going to be, say like 50 pixels. And then padding left is going to be 8%, or percentage 8, it's not. And padding right is then going to be 8% too. And let's have a look. Yeah, that's nice. It pushes it in. I like for this that it pushes it in a little bit further. All right, so now let's just do the brands, and the brand is then going to be font size 2 ems. That looks okay. And then we want to do the background image right now, because this is going to really dictate what color that we make the text. And with this white background color, we don't have much flexibility with it. So let's do the magic here. The body we want to say is then height 100% view height. All right, and we're going to say position relative, because the body, we're going to say body before. This is going to be content. Well, not that. It's not going to say that. It's going to be content is just nothing. And I'm going to say position absolute, and then top 0, and then left 0, width 100%, height 100%, and then we're going to say background image URL. And then that's the images inside of the images public folder, and it's called background.jpg. And now we're going to say background position is going to be top center, background repeats is no repeats, and then background size is going to be cover. All right. So we see that now, and it's looking lovely. And now we can start manipulating the text color. However, because you can see that we've lost the text, we need to say Z index -1 here, and we get our text back, which obviously we can't see it right now, but once we change that, then we will be able to see it. So let's just change it with saying that our navbar, the color of the color is going to be white for all elements beneath it. All right, that's why we said that the anchor tag should inherit and so on. So now we want to say the brand span, and this color is going to be red, and the brand, we're going to say font weight is going to be 600. That looks pretty cool. And now we want to have some form of hover effect on these buttons too. So let's come to our nav, and we'll just add the hover effect, and we're just going to say that the color is going to be red. And we do this, and we get nice color red. And on this, we want to have a transition, and we'll just say like 0.4 seconds. And yeah, and so it gets this nice transition. And we're going to pump up the size of the text a little bit, probably to 1.4 ems. Maybe a bit too big. But it had a nice transition there, if you noticed. Yeah, 1.2 is all right. Let's maybe pump it to 1.3. Yeah, that's better. There we go. We get a nice transition. Okay, so now comes the important part: is how do we do this line underneath? All right, we've got this this hovering, right? But we need to somehow manipulate it to have a border on the bottom. Now you might think we want to add the border bottom to the actual item itself, but that's not what we're going to do. We are going to, in the anchor tag, we're going to say position relative. We're going to do something pretty much along the lines of what we did previously already, and we are going to say then here before, right, and we're going to say position absolute again, and we can literally just copy what we did here, all right, because just copy what we did here because it's faster. And just get rid of one of them. Okay, so now we want to, let's just say background color is then going to be white. And we have to say content, don't forget the content. Okay, so now each button is, as you can see, is completely wrong, right? And we're going to say Z index of this is not going to inherit. It's going to be -1, 2. And now, but our text is underneath, which is pretty good, which is what we want, all right? But we don't want it to be from the top. We want it to be from the bottom, and we're going to say height is going to be like 2 pixels. So now you can see we've got some separation between that, all right? So let's now move. Let's give the let's give each anchor tag a margin right of say 20 pixels. That's a bit better. So now we've got a little bit of separation between the items, which is perfect. All right. So now the question is how can we make this look like that? All right. So at the moment we have the background color of white, right? And we have the width of 100%. So really what we want to be able to do is move this to a hover state, right? Where we're now going to say the width, so in this we want to say width is 0, all right? And the background color can stay white here, but the width here on hover is going to be 100%. So now we can see we get this effect, right? So now what we want to have is a transition, and we're just going to say 0.4 seconds as well. And now you get it. See, it's so simple just to get this effect. And I'm going to add a little bit of font weight to the text, and 500. That's good, looks better. And it's just this lovely simple effect, and we hardly did anything whatsoever. It's just so simple to do, you see. And you would think that it was a lot more difficult to do that, but there we go. This is just to show you how to make a nice stylish navigation bar with a little bit of animation, and you could go on to this a lot in a lot more detail, and you could change it so much more. But this is just like the building blocks to do a lot more than what we've just done. Okay, so there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this one video. I hope you've learned something. As always, I always learn something when creating these videos. Sometimes I don't do it in the first attempt. Sometimes I do it in the first attempt. This was the first attempt. But, you know, anyway, if you did like this video, please feel free to give it a like. By liking the video does really help other people to find these videos. And you're not helping me, you're helping other people to learn these types of little tricks. Okay, if you've got any feedback, please feel free to put it in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks then. Ciao, ciao. Goodbye.